clip, we're going to go over eighth notes combined with eighth note rest. Before we start this, we have to understand how to count while tapping our foot. For every downbeat, obviously it's when our foot comes down. Every upbeat is when our foot comes up. We count that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now for percussionists, and we've talked about this a lot, we do the right hand lead or natural sticking. So every downbeat is going to be in our right hand and every upbeat is going to be in our left hand. During this exercise, or any of these exercises, I want you to tap that foot. I know at the high school level, we bend our knee and the back of our heel hits on the downbeat. So 1 and 2 and. If you'd like to try that out, by all means do so. But if you're looking at the packet I sent out to you, the first packet, this is page 26 through 28. If you look at that first one where it says count and tap your foot, you'll see eighth note rests that kind of look like a little 7 with a little ball on the top. Those are eighth note rests. Those would be typically in your right hand. This is the very first one, that count and tap foot in that packet. So if they're all rest on downbeats, then the notes that are preceding that, and the eighth note is going to be in your left hand, the ands. Now let's break down how to do this. The way I teach it first is I typically hit the rim on downbeats first, where the rest would be. So in that first example right there, I would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Second time around, I would try to air it so that now you hear the silence. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then the third time through, I just try to play it without airing it or without tapping the rim. So it would be like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, let's try to apply this in the exercises. We're on page 27. Let's look at number 1. Number 1's pretty much what we just saw in the last one. However, I'll show you how I would group this. Don't worry about it being 8 measures with a repeat or anything. Let's just isolate that first measure. We'll do 4 times with rim, 4 times airing it, and then 4 times without. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to air it. Go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're gonna do nothing to. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. We'll stop right here and 1. Now let's apply this to page 28, and this is number 5. We're going to have an eighth note rest followed by an eighth note and 4 quarters. So if we remember what I said earlier, all downbeats are in the right hand. So I would have beats 2, 3, and 4. So those will all be in your right hand. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the skeleton. The skeleton, if I'm looking at the eighth note rest to an eighth note, would be 1 and. So the rhythm for that would be 1 and 2, 3, 4. So at this time, let's just isolate it. So we would have 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now that's again without the rest. That's the skeleton. So now if we apply what I did earlier with the rim on the rest, you're thinking in your head that skeleton. 1 and 2, 3, 4. This time around, just so it's not so long, I'm going to do 2 times of each. Twice with the rim, twice with air, and twice without. Here we go. And 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3. Now I'm going to air it. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 without. And 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Hopefully this helps. Again, this is just how I practiced it when I was younger, and I've kind of internalized it, muscle memory, kinesthetics, it's all sunken in. So again, try to apply this rim first until you feel comfortable with that rim with the skeleton, then try to air it with the skeleton, and then completely try to take it away. The point of this, taking this slowly and figuring out what that feels like, is that when this becomes 16th notes down the road, I don't want to confuse anyone, but like when it becomes E and, or one E and, E, all these syncopated rhythms, it's going to make a lot more sense of why we did this first. So again, try these techniques out. And the first assignment's due next week. It's the summary on page 28. So if you work your way from 26 all the way to 28, you should have no problems reading that down.